Welcome to Christmas from the North Pole, Christmas Countdown from Geek, Alabama. Join us every day during the Christmas season where we talk about stories from the North Pole and Santa Claus. And here to tell your stories is your host, Nathan Young. Welcome to the latest edition of Christmas from the North Pole, Christmas Countdown. So today I had to go to the dentist to get a filling repaired in one of my teeth. And that got me to thinking, in the North Pole, the Elves, Santa, Mrs. Santa, they all have teeth too. So not only do they have to have healthcare providers up there, they also have to have dental providers up there too. And also vision providers too, because they have eyes as well. So up in the North Pole, for anything medical, they have doctors and nurses go up to the North Pole several times throughout the year to check on Santa and Mrs. Santa. And they have specially doctors and nurses for the elves because their bodies are different than the body of Santa Claus and Mrs. Santa Claus, obviously. For dentists, the elves have different types of teeth. So there are specially elf dentists that will treat the teeth from the elves. And for Mrs. Claus and Santa Claus, there's a real dentist that flies up to the North Pole several times a year to check on their teeth and do any work if needed. And they're there. They can go up on an emergency basis as well. For vision, the elves they have different types of vision and eyes than a human does. So elves have their own vision doctor as well. And for Mr. Claus and Mrs. Claus, they have a human vision doctor that goes up to the North Pole usually twice a year to do vision checks. Because, Santa Claus needs to have good vision when he's flying around the world on Christmas Eve. You would think so, right? So the North Pole has great medical, dental, vision care, you name it. That they will not go without up there. If something bad happened to Santa Claus or Mrs. Claus, they would get top-notch treatment quickly. And if a really catastrophic emergency happened, they could fly Mrs. Claus or Santa Claus down into Canada to one of the bigger hospitals for care if needed. For the elves, they have their own state-of-the-art hospital to treat them at the North Pole. So don't worry about the elves or Mr. Claus or Mrs. Claus, because their health care is totally great up in the North Pole. Thank you for watching and listening to this episode of Christmas from the North Pole Christmas Countdown. Have a great day, everybody. Thank you for listening to Christmas from the North Pole Christmas Countdown. For more stories, articles, and podcasts, please log on to geekalabama.com.